27, for the winner by unanimous decision, Steve Machine Garcia.
Hawk sports fans, welcome back to Hawk Talk. We got a very exclusive Hawk Talk for you guys today. The Mean Machine, Steve Garcia, is joining us today just over 2 weeks after we watched him get the W over Calvin Kattar in a very, very dominant fashion at UFC Nashville. Hell of a performance. Steve, I didn't know you 2 weeks ago whenever I was at the event. I was on your side. I did bet on you. I thought the line was crazy close. No offense to Calvin if this video does come across, but with your resume right now, man, you're now on a 6-fight win streak. You're absolutely hooping. I love to watch you fight, man. So this is really cool for me to sit here 16, 17 days removed after that and to have you on here, man. It's a pleasure to have you on here.
Well, thanks for being a fan, Max. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on your show. Yeah, man, I'm excited to chat with you and just talk whatever you want to talk about, man. I'm an open book, brother. We'll have a good discussion here.
Yes, sir. Me and Steve already had a good conversation off camera, so you're probably going to be seeing him moving forward on here. But Steve, just to kind of get the interview started, have you ever been to Nashville before? You fought 2 weeks ago. If not, what did you think of the city? Or if you have been there before, what stuck out to you this time?
Yeah, man. So I have not been to Nashville before, so that was my first time. I did fight in Memphis, which was fun, which was cool. Um, I was a little let down a little bit with the barbecue in Memphis, just because like I'm a big like more of a Texas style barbecue fan. You guys like your dry rubs and stuff, but it was still good. You know what I mean? I just was expecting something else, and I think that's kind of what threw me off. But as far as Nashville goes, man, it's pretty cool. It's pretty electric. There's so much to do there, and it sucks because when you're a fighter, everybody you get to travel and you get to go do these things, but I spend majority of my time in the hotel and in the room, and I'm exercising, running, and doing all this stuff. So um, I heard so much stuff going around me, and all the nightlife and all that different, activities that are going on, and I didn't get to participate. So I talked to my wife. I was like, we need to come back to Nashville because it just sounded amazing to be a part of. And yeah, man, I was pretty bummed that I didn't get to get the full Nashville experience, but it did make me want to make sure I come back and I plan it out and we can actually enjoy it almost like in a vacation type of feel for it instead of like a competition. Everybody there was at least at the arena was awesome, and I got to talk to a few people, and they were great. So, hell, if they have another car back in Nashville, I'm like, sign me up because it was a good time.
Let's go, man. I love to hear that. And with you saying that, you definitely need to come in whenever there's a Predators game and they're playing a big team. That's
Oh, no way.
they play in the same arena you fought at, obviously, at Bridgestone Arena. Dude, a big night against a big name team like the St. Louis Blues, who's their rival. Holy crap, man. Broadway's awesome. So I'd love for you to get to experience that. Nashville is
Nice.
awesome. We had a very eventful day leading up to that fight as well in the Nashville vlog you guys saw. So I'm glad you're coming back, though, even though you weren't able to experience everything with obviously you having the fight. I'm glad you're still able to have a good enough taste with Nashville to be able to come back. So that is awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah, the hockey scene seems pretty legit over there. Is it pretty good?
Dude, so we had made the playoffs in so many consecutive years in a row. We weren't supposed to make the playoffs in 23 because we were in a rebuild year. Last year, we get all these dudes in the summertime. We sign them. We got like the Lightning's best player. He's their captain, which is one of the best teams in the NHL. And then we were shit this last year. We didn't make the playoffs. We were one of the worst teams in the league. So
Yeah.
even if the team is not doing good, though, Nashville or Smashville is what the Predators fans call it.
Right on.
It's always electric down there, man. And obviously, you probably saw a little bit of Broadway. The place is absolutely insane at nighttime. That's something that everybody should experience if you're not from the area, at least one time in your life. So,
Yeah, man. Me and my wife just became like hockey fans. Yeah, just recently. So we've been kind of like debating because honestly, like we've been looking for some good teams because like our team, like my football team's the Dallas Cowboys, and bro, they break my heart like almost every year, bro. It's just like it's awful. It's a bad relationship, but me and my wife, we love the Cowboys. I'm a Yankees fan too. That's mainly from an early age. I used to be a big ball player back in the day. Uh, but I love just the atmosphere of hockey, and they get to fight, man. That's like my favorite part. You know what I mean? So how can you not like that? And so me and my wife were looking at a few different teams on just to figure out like who to like, and her her grandpa is like went to school with the owner of the Golden Knights.
Oh,
And so I was like, wow. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, if you want to like go, let me know. And so we were in Vegas, and I'm always in Vegas because the PI is there. I fought I don't know how many times there. So I was like, you know what, man? I was like, maybe we'll just check it out. And so we went to a Golden Knights game. I can't remember who they played. I mean, I could go back and look. And after that point, I'm like, all right, I think we're hockey fans. So we watched it's finals, right? It's the finals in hockey, right?
yep. Yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals. Yep.
Yeah, and so we watched the whole thing. Our Golden Knights got beat out by I think it was one of the Canadian teams, right? And so I don't know, we ended up going for whoever, I think it was Florida, right? Florida won the cup.
Yeah, dude. The Panthers have went back to back now, 25 and 24 champs.
Oh wow. So we were just going with them because I was going for anybody that beat the Golden Knights, going forward. So yeah, man, it was pretty cool to follow it. So now me and my wife are like, man, I wish hockey was on because we actually enjoyed it, man. It was a good time.
That's dope, man. Well, maybe you can come in whenever the Knights are playing in Nashville. That will definitely be a game where Nashville fans will show out. The Knights are a great team, so I'd expect a good crowd, especially if it's a weekend night game. So that
Yeah, I probably need to know I need to know the players because bro, I just got introduced and I'm like, all right, let's just figure this on the whim.
well, that is dope, man. That is dope. Well, if you come in for that, if you go into a Preds game, whether they're playing the Knights or not, let me know, dude, because I'll definitely pull up. That'd be dope.
Hell yeah,
Hang with you
I'm
and
down.
show you
Why
around.
not?
That'd be dope. That'd be so dope.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
glad you're a hockey fan. So now that's another interest we have in common there. Dope.
nice.
Just to kind of touch back into UFC Nashville, obviously, if you're on Hawk Talk right now and you guys are watching this, I'm not going to ask Steve UFC questions the entire time. We like to have fun on here. We're not just a normal MMA reporter. Those guys ask stupid ass questions all the time. But we obviously have to ask Steve um, a little bit about UFC Nashville. So, Steve, what does it mean now? Obviously, you're on a 6-fight win streak. I've mentioned that already before. But what does it mean to have Calvin Cater on that resume now with this win streak?
Well, one, I think it just kind of solidifies like what I've always known. I feel like it just like opened the door. It's almost like what do they call it? Like almost like a like introduction party or like a coming out party where people finally like know who I am. I was kind of like tucked away at the Apex for like a good couple of fights. Majority of my fights have been there. I did fight in Miami on the Adesanya and Pereira card, but I was like I think the first or second fight of the night.
Mhm.
And there's nobody really is excited to see those ones in particular unless you're like a hardcore fan. So what was cool about Nashville is that like I got a crowd again. I had an arena, and then I had a stud of a fighter like Calvin Cater to go up against, and it was like the perfect time for me to go out there and just show out. And I felt like everybody was feeling it, and I had a lot of like talk because I had the longest like knockout streak for yeah, I think almost like 2 years,
Yeah.
and a lot of people didn't know that, and I'm just like, well, like, I mean, it's time for these guys to know, you know what I mean? So I was happy to do that in Nashville. I was happy to just be in front of a crowd, which was something great. And then to be in front of Nashville, which I think is a great, it's a great city. The vibe is great. As soon as I'll say this from the moment that I went into the airport and like I literally walked through the airport, I was like, I looked to my dad because my dad always rolls with me. And I was like, dude, this vibe is good, man. I love this vibe. The country vibe, the music vibe. Because my whole family comes from like a whole line of musicians. And if you don't play an instrument, you sing. I don't sing, so I'll play an instrument. But yeah, you won't hear me sing. But yeah, man, it was just like a good time, man. And I was so happy that, I got the win. I got to beat Calvin Cater. Almost had the finish. Almost had him, but that
Oh,
dude, he's a stud, bro. He's a
oh,
stud. He's a vet.
yes,
Hard
sir.
to put him away.
I know you did almost have him in the third round. What did lead to that knockdown though? What did you see right before that moment? Obviously, Calvin is tough as nails. That's why he's so respected by the UFC community. But what did you see in that sequence right there in the third round to be like, oh shit, like this might be go time right now?
So what was kind of difficult for me to just do what I like to do was he kind of like every time I would engage and he was trying to counter me. That's more or less what he was doing. He was trying to counter me. So I was almost like,
Entire fight too. Entire
yeah.
fight.
So I almost had to like counter the counter striker, if that made sense. So like I had to like I was trying to be in his face as much as I could, and then I would wait for him to like throw what he wanted to throw, but I knew it couldn't have a whole lot of pop on it because he was on his back foot.
Yep.
And so I was able to kind of start, almost like playing this game with him. And by the third round, I could kind of feel like he was kind of losing his like edge, you know.
For
And
sure.
so I don't know, man. I just kind of that and in that moment, you know what I mean? When he was like countering a lot, like anytime I'd engage, he would Philly shell up to an extent. And so it's kind of hard to find solid avenues to get to his like face or to his body. So it made it kind of difficult. So like I figured I was like, I'm gonna play this kind of outside game a little bit. And in that moment, when in the third round, I just kind of exploded through and I knew what he was gonna do. I knew he was gonna kind of curl up, but I knew that he was gonna stay curled up. So when I went in, he curled up and then I threw another big shot right behind it because I knew he was gonna let his guard down, and that's where I got the knockdown. The dumb part is that like when he fell, I know I'm so used to just like jumping on them and just finishing them. He almost like tripoded up and like turned into me, which is almost like a vet move. They
Yeah.
just don't like just like stay down there. He just like pivoted right back into me and I just like stumbled over him. And when I stumbled over him, he was able to like get back up and get his wits with the clinch. And I kind of lost my moment, lost my opportunity. But you know what, man? It's different when you're fighting these type of level guys. I've been fighting everybody coming up to the level. They're almost kind of like in my head. I don't feel like they're on my level, but we're all trying to climb this ladder, and technically, the world sees us as all almost like that crab effect, where like one's trying to climb up, to the
Yep.
top, and we just keep pulling each other down, right? So I think it was a good opportunity to really just showcase that I'm just not this crazy wild fighter. I can be technical too, and I have to be more technical with the top 10, the top 15 because they're all good.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to be getting that next fight, which is what I'm going to bring up now. So obviously the fight's been over now for 2.5 weeks. I saw you called out Pitbull for MSG. Correct me if I'm wrong, but why do you like that matchup for yourself? And why does it make sense for you to be at MSG in November? Because that's usually whenever they do to go to New York. So why is that a good time frame for you? And why do you want Pitbull?
I think Pitbull is just another name. You know what I mean? I think, and I say Pitbull because now he took my 11 spot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think I'm 12 now, so. That kind of just like he's ahead of me now. You know what I mean? So I don't like that. And I'm trying to fight, down in that sense when it comes to getting closer to the number one spot. Um, right now, the two guys that they come to my mind was Pitbull and it was Josh Emmett. And those two fights I think would be, I think, exciting for the fans. Pitbull has a name coming, from Bellator being the champion. So, fighting behind me, I won't say I won't like accept it, but it's almost kind of pointless. You know what I mean? We're all, like I said, we're in this crab effect where we're all trying to climb up this ladder, and we're just trying to use the next person to get us there. And you don't typically do that going backwards, right? And I don't know what interview I did. I was like, bro, I've been back there. I know what it's like to be back there. I don't want to be back there anymore. I'm trying to go forward. And so I'm always trying to fight someone that's ahead of me or that is better than me or they think that it's better than me, and that's one way that I'm just going to excel my career going forward, and that's how I've been trying to fight my whole life. You know what I mean? Just trying whatever's going to get me closer to the title shot, make me more money, give me some more exposure, all the above.
Absolutely, and I would love to see on that MSG card if you got Pitbull. I'm absolutely confident that that would be a main card slot, especially with
Yeah.
you being on the streak. Him getting the win over Ige, who's also a well-respected fighter. I do like that stylistic matchup for you, though.
Yeah.
I think you win that. So, Dana, Hunter, whoever, if you come across this video somehow with me being small still, get my man a matchup against Pitbull. I like that.
Yeah, man. And MSG is iconic, man. That's where like some of the biggest names in the world have fought there. Muhammad Ali's fought there. Michael Jordan's has played there. Like, there's a lot of crazy, iconic people that have been in that building arena, and that's kind of one of my bucket lists. And so if I don't get that, I'd like to headline a card. You know what I mean? That's kind of one of my out because like in my garage, I have like a two-car garage and then I have a one-car garage. And so in my two-car garage, I have all the posters I fought in, or at least that I've won in. And I want like my face on there. You know what I mean? Because I even in one of my posters I have Calvin Cater versus Allen, and
Yeah,
I fought Chase Hooper on that one, and he's on my in my garage. You know what I mean? And it's the one that all the fighters sign their names on.
yeah, yep.
So I want one with my name on it, my face on it, and I want to be just a staple in the UFC. You know?
That'd be dope. And you definitely deserve that too. I mean, you don't go down once you win. So you're already the featured main card slot in Nashville. So I mean, it's only got to go up from here. So that would also love that for you, dude. That would be sick. That'd be a great opportunity. You definitely
Yeah,
deserve it too. But
yeah, I think so too.
definitely just to kind of go from your background now, Steve, to kind of go off the subject of UFC Nashville a little bit. What
Mhm.
local values and influences do you think that you bring from being from New Mexico?
Well, number one, like my number one value, I feel like, and I've got this from my grandparents, was we're very strong believers. And so I've actually had a conversation with one of my buddies today. And to be a fighter, almost got to be a different breed. And we're not typical people. We're not, we don't almost kind of even see the world like how the rest of the world sees it. And I had a buddy, he ended up like pulling out of a fight. He made weight and then he like had like a really bad rehydration process. And it was so bad that he's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna do this ever again. Like, I'm gonna like stop MMA. And I was like, wow, I was like, that's a big deal. And I was like, it's probably good. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. And we were having a discussion about, the mental state of mind and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I was like, what we do, we don't really have, how do I say this? So like, we don't have a normal job. So when I go in there and I'm cutting weight and I'm dying, like literally almost on the brink of death, and we feel like I'm done, I'm done, I'm done.
Mhm.
And if you notice, a lot of the UFC fighters, they all give a shout out to God. And this is like big UFC movement happening. And I was like, do you know why that I think that happens? And this is just an opinion. I was like, it's because we all get to a point where we can't do it anymore. We need help. And it's whether it's that last 1 or 2 pounds, where it's like, bro, like I can't do it, but somehow it happens, right? You make the weight, or you're gonna fight a killer. You know what I mean? It's like, God, like I train my butt off, I do this, I put in the work and all that stuff like that, but this thing is very, very nerve-wracking, it's very intimidating. Your psyche and your emotions and everything like that are just going nuts, going crazy, and you need clarity. And I feel like I've always had that, you know what I mean? Because of my faith. So that's kind of where like my values and my morals, I feel like, have really been able to excel me, to push me, and to keep me like level-headed. I feel like to do our job, you almost have to have like this bit of insanity.
Yeah.
But if you can control that insanity, have, like I said, have some clarity, to have this vision and feel like you have almost like this support that like is almost supernatural in a sense. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, that's kind of where like my values and my belief really come in, and I feel like that's where I thrive. As far as New Mexico's benefit is that we are so rugged here. uh Man, we have nothing to do here, and I'm not necessarily hating on my state. I love my people. I do. I love my people, and they're awesome. But man, it's very rugged here, man. Like, it sucks because like our state, we're like like one of the worst in I think we are the worst in like car theft. We were one of the worst ones in like police shootings. We were one of the worst, and we actually on like I think the second to last in bringing a family here and raising them. Our education is like very, very bad. Like there's a lot of things that like struggle here that make for a good fighter because you have to fight. You have to be strong here. You have to like have an edge. And I feel like that also has kind of benefited me in that sense when it comes to the my job and going out there and competing. It's also created a lot of other fighters, Holly, John, Diego, Carlos, like a lot of us all just kind of just are just like these, I don't want to say outcasts, but we're just like these just different people that, just channel it through fighting. And so that's kind of like where I feel like, kind of going to your question is kind of like where my breeding is coming from. You know what I mean? So I kind of contribute to those two things that I was talking about.
Well, that was awesome. I really appreciate the insight on that, Steve. I mean, sometimes I'll ask people those questions and it's like a 30-second question, but dude, that was beautiful. I mean, I was really detailed, very, very powerful message. Obviously, I'm a Christian too. I'm wearing the chain right here. My
All right.
favorite verse is Romans 8:31. If God be for us, then who can be against us? I feel like that's a
Love it.
representation of what God can do. So that's awesome to hear your faith. And that's also for me personally, I think you might be the first person I've ever spoke to from New Mexico. So that was awesome for me to be able to hear that and kind of learn about your guys' culture there. But I mean, it sounds like you're where you're meant to be though, man. Be a fighter,
Thanks, man. Yeah,
get
I
your head
think
down
it's
and
it
be a
too.
fighter. That's dope.
Yeah, bro. I was trying to be a pro ball player, and I should have been more specific. I prayed. I was like, God, just make me a pro athlete. I should have been like something else. But hey, he answered my prayers. He didn't go down the direction I thought was gonna happen. But man, I get to follow this dream that I realized a long time ago, and I get to go out there and use God's gifts and do my thing. And man, who would have thought? Not me, but I'm here.
And yeah, and you're not only just here, you're inside the top 15 now. Definitely some big opportunities coming your way in the near future too. So you're not only here, but it's like it's about to get real serious now. So I'm hyped. I'm
Thanks,
hyped
man.
for you, man. That's so dope to hear that message from you. That was very powerful. But
Right on, brother.
just to kind of go off, you just mentioned a few names. So they're not going to count because you've trained with them before. So my next
Yeah.
question is this is where we ask random questions. If you could train with any fighter from the past or today's era that you haven't trained with before, who would you want to
Mhm.
train with and why?
Um, that's kind of hard because like I would love to like be in the same room with like Muhammad Ali, or I'd love to be in the same room with like Manny Pacquiao, or be in the same room with some of these guys. I'd probably to get like the most out of something I would want. It would probably be someone closer to my weight, right? So Pacquiao would probably be a little bit more realistic. That would be a fun one.
Yeah.
Um, and in the MMA world, ultimately, like my favorite all time fighter would be Muhammad Ali. Everybody else is probably feeling that too. He's just an icon, and on top of that, man, like he's one of one. He's one of one. You know what I mean? There's not too many of those, and he's one of one. It's like him and Michael Jordan and like Tiger Woods. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's nobody else in the world like them. Um, as far as like currently, I would love to be in the same room, and it's hard because like he's he's still relevant. He's still a thing, and it'd be Max Holloway. I
Wow.
would love to one pick his brain. I would love to train with him, and I would love to see his regiment. Uh, there's so many things that I see about that dude that I feel like he does that other people don't. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I feel like I thrive. Is I feel like I go above and beyond in so many different areas in combat sports, just to make sure that like I try to be different than everybody else. Because you have I don't know. I think the UFC has like 500 or 600 UFC fighters.
Yep.
All of us are having the same goal, and there's only I don't know how many belts out there. We all are trying to get that one belt in our weight class. So you have to do something that makes you different than everybody else. And I think Max has had the recipe for that for a long time. So I'd probably say Max.
That's dope. I love that answer, man. You and Max, dude, what a collab that would be. Holy shit. To pick your guys' brains, dude, you guys would probably learn a lot of shit. Definitely some light sparring on that too. You guys would probably see a lot of
Yeah.
things. So that'd be dope, man. That's a good
Well,
call.
dude, after this was gonna be my like my thought process is I finished Calvin Cater, and then I was gonna call out Max in the sense of it being that I did what he couldn't, which was finish Calvin Cater.
Yes.
And
Oh,
that's what I was gonna do. I was
damn,
so close,
damn,
man. It's
damn.
all right. And he has a BMF belt. And to be honest, like to be between everybody else, I honestly the BMF belt rings more of a bell to me that like I see that like motivates me more than just like an undisputed. And there's undisputed is the greatest belt, right? It's the best one, right? It's but you can win it by being the best grappler or the best wrestler, like. But being the BMF, the best BMF, like bro, that means that you're slinging, and you're throwing chingazos, bro, and you're going crazy, and blood will be pouring through noses and gouges and just everything. So I don't know why, but that one is the one that I want. That's the one that I think, you know, that sounds great to me.
Dude, that's awesome. I love to hear that because so many people are very critical of the BMF belt. So that's awesome
Mm,
for you to be able to come out and say something like that about the BMF. I feel like if I was in your guys' shoes, I've never gotten in a fight in my life. I've never had to clench my fist where I'm like gonna come
yeah,
take somebody's head off. I've gotten some scuffles being a athlete over the years, but I mean,
yeah,
dude, if you're the BMF, that means the fans love you. That means you're going to put on a scrap, and that means you got the heart of a warrior, man. So those are
yeah,
things right there that if you have that in you as a human, people are going to draw attention to you. And at the end of the day, Dustin just retired. He's on vacation right now, but that dude can go to bed at night and be like, "I'm a bad motherfucker." So,
yeah,
dude,
100%,
oh my
100%.
god, man, Steve Garcia for the BMF belt one day. Holy fuck, I would love
How
that.
crazy,
I
how
would fucking
crazy.
love that, dude. I mean, now that you say that, I mean, I hadn't really thought about it before, even being a fan of yours, but dude, I mean, it's not unrealistic to say that. Like I
Yeah,
can
man,
see that happening one day. You have to,
it's in the realm of possibilities for sure now. I've been kind of quiet about excelling and belts and all stuff like that, but I had to put in work and I still got to put in work. But, everybody's over here calling for a belt after 2 wins or a finish. I'm like, bro, I probably have more finishes than you have wins in the UFC, bro. Like, relax. Like, do your work, stay grinding, like, stay humble, King. Like, relax. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
just keep going forward, keep pressing, keep doing what's working, get better, and then the rest will fall into place, man. 100%.
dude, that is so dope. I love to hear that. That's kind of like the vision you have. That makes me so much more excited now. For you, like that's so dope. I'd love that opportunity for you one day, and that's definitely realistic. So hopefully,
Yeah, man. Thank you.
year or so going forward, we can get that put in the position for you right there. But just to swing back to the other guy you said, I actually live an hour and a half away from it. So have you ever been to the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville?
Nah, man. Yeah, I want to. Where is it? It's in Kentucky, correct?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Louisville. As soon as you go into the city, it's right there off the highway. I live like an hour and a half from it. I've never been there before, but I've drove past it. Oh gosh, I can't tell you how many times, but it looks really, really nice. So
Dude, I gotta make that like a thing for sure because growing up, like I just watched him, and it wasn't even so much just all about how well he fought. You know what I mean? It was like how much he cared about what he believed in to like his max effort. You know what I mean? And I respect that too. You know what I mean? We may not believe the same things, but for someone to willingly like stop fighting and go through everything he went through just because of what he believed, like that's a big deal. You know what I mean? That's at least I can appreciate that. You know?
for sure, that would be dope. I mean, we also have the Kentucky Derby in Louisville.
No.
So
Yeah.
maybe you could do a derby or something like that. Maybe you're out of camp, you just fought a few weeks ago, a month ago, and you're just chilling. You can do a derby and then hit the Muhammad Ali Center. That'd be a good
So
trip.
what's the big deal about the Derby? It's just fast cars going around, right?
And it's the biggest horse race of the year. The best horse.
Oh, that's right. It's cars. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking like Talladega.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Talladega's down in Florida, but yeah, the Kentucky Derby is just the best horses. It's the best minute in sports, they say.
Oh man.
I mean, there's
Okay.
races the whole day. Like I went this past year, and me and my buddy were there from the first race on, just because like we went to go be degenerates and gamble and all that shit. We did good in the
Yeah.
first race, but after that, it kind of went downhill, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But the last race, the Kentucky Derby, is all the best horses, and everybody.
Oh nice.
So many famous people, like you'd fit in there for sure. I didn't feel like I fit in there. Hopefully, one day I feel
Yeah.
like I fit in, but you'd fit in there.
Yeah.
So that could be a trip. That could be a trip for
Maybe.
your girl.
Yeah, I've done a few bets on some horses. I don't know anything about it, but I've done it. We have a spot here in New Mexico, and you can do that.
Dope, dope. But yeah, there's another trip right there for you, man. Hit that up some.
Yeah, man.
Dope.
You're creating a whole vacay for me, buddy.
I know, like we're just picking each other's brains right now. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of crazy how much we do kind of have in common here. But I do have another question for you, Steve. So, if you could relive one day in your life so far, what would it be, and why would you choose this day?
I don't know, man. Hmm, that's a good one, man. It's a good one.
Deep. It's a deep one. We get deep on here sometimes too, but it's random though. It's not always UFC related.
Yeah, man. There's just so many. It's kind of hard to really pick one. I think the birth of my son is definitely on there. Marrying my wife was another. Finding out that you know, that I was gonna fight in the UFC, that was a big one.
Yeah.
There's so many different
Multiple
things that,
You can have multiple.
yeah, man.
It's hard to pick one day.
Yeah, man. One day's kind of tough because uh, uh when you train and you expect and you work so hard for something, it's hard because those are moments that you've worked so hard for, and those are moments that you've trained and planned for sometimes years.
Yep.
And that's what makes the magnitude of that moment so special. But there's nothing like, the birth of my son. There's nothing, that's, for me, marrying my wife and stuff like that. Like those are huge moments in my life. Those are life-changing moments. So it's kind of hard to really specialize on one, but I'd probably say those are the ones that stick out to me the most, I'm a big family man. It's God, family, and it's fighting right now. So those are my three right now. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
man, I know that's probably not the answer you wanted, but that's what I got for you.
No, dude, those are great answers. What do you mean? I mean, I'd be up here if I was in your position. My son and my wife would beat my ass if I didn't say their name. And
Yeah,
you got to give credit to yourself too. I mean, my girlfriend, if I came on here, if once we get married, if I didn't say her and then we have a kid and I didn't say the kid, oh dude, they just come across the screen right now and clock me in my jaw. So no, those are great answers.
yeah. Okay, well, all right, cool. We're
We'll
good
title,
then.
we'll title that the best 3 days of your life. How about that?
There we go.
Yes.
I can live with that for
Yeah,
sure.
those are all good because you got to give yourself credit for all the hard work hours you put in, your dreams
Yeah,
being made, obviously, and then you have your wife and your son. So those are great answers. No, don't apologize for that. That's the answers we want to hear. So
right on, brother. Right
definitely
on.
by you,
I
sir.
like it.
Yes, sir. But just to kind of go back and into your life a little bit here, what is a small decision that you made in the past that ended up changing your life completely?
Yeah, there's been a few. The biggest though, if that's what you're asking, is probably the day that I just, you know, committed committed my life to God. That's probably the biggest one because it changes your whole thing. It changes your old habits, the things that you were getting consumed by, like the things that probably not the best for you in your life, and changing it all to trying to find that straight and narrow path, and that's when I saw things click for me, and people, oh, you're some holy roller. I'm like, no, man, I was like the opposite, bro. Like, trust me, like I love God, but you know what, bro? Like I have issues, I got problems just like everybody else.
Yep.
And the moment that I decided to kind of just believe in him, have faith, and like I said, I'm not some saint, I'm nothing like that, but you know what? I went down that direction, and I'm not saying it's an easy path, but you know what, man? That's when things changed for me, and always the better ways. It always was. And I can talk forever about it, but that's when like, my fighting took off. That's kind of when like the friendships that I was always on the fence about, that's when like God closed those doors on those people that were just like pulling me down, and it was just like limiting my ability to go forward. Um, and along with bringing in new people, that were gonna like guide me in a better path. You know what I mean? I went and started training with Jackson Wink, and man, all these guys were already in the UFC. These guys were already killers, and they were beating me up all the time, but they were like doing it with like love. Is weird, if that's weird to hear, but I just got in front of people that I needed to get in front of when I started making these life decisions. And man, like that's why like I'm always gonna hype up God. I'm always gonna be like a person that's sort of like, bro, just try it, check it out, man. It worked for me. It might work for you. I don't know, but I promise you, like it aided me. So if you need advice, you can talk to me. But that was my story, you know.
That's
So that's my answer.
That's awesome. And I'm glad that once you did make that decision to get a little bit more serious about your faith, that you did
Yeah,
that through other actions that were happening around you in your life, and that you were able to see such a positive impact on your life going forward there. So that
yeah,
was,
man. When I was in high school, man, like it was bad. Like I actually got rid of almost all my friends, and I was almost like one of those loners at a point in time. And it was kind of hard. It almost didn't seem like it was the best thing for me, but in the big scheme of things, it was the best thing for me because then I got so consumed with training, and it was training, school, and work. And that's all I did. And it's all I focused on. I didn't go out clubbing anymore. I didn't do I never did drugs or any of that stuff. But when you get around toxic people, it's not a good environment, right? So I got away from everybody, and I put myself, even if it's lonely sometimes, it can still be better than being around someone that's bad. You know what I mean?
yep, I know exactly what you mean on that. I've never done drugs either, but if you're around an environment where people are drinking a lot, doing drugs and stuff like that, it's not what you necessarily want to be seeing with your own eyes. It's definitely not a good influence. So I do
Yeah,
kind of
man.
relate to you in that. I will drink if it's an occasion. So if you're on here,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
don't shit on
for
me.
sure.
Don't you shit on me in the comments, people. If you're watching this shit, I will drink if it's good. If it's an occasion, I'm not gonna just.
Hey, bro, there is nothing wrong, bro. Like for me, I'll have a fire. Like I love to snowboard. You know what I mean? So like drinking some fireball up at the top of the mountain, or even like a cheers, like good round of golf. You know what I mean? We'll have something to drink. But bro, like my stuff, is like, bro, I don't get crazy with alcohol too much. But bro, like you bring something that tastes good, you give me like a pina colada or like a Miami Vice or something, bro. I'm a happy guy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, that's crazy because like I feel the exact same way on that. The exact
Yes.
same way. Anybody watching this that's my good friend will say that I'm not bullshitting either. So you better back me up in the comment section. I don't want to hear any bullshit about Max isn't fun either because you guys know that's bullshit. So I'm glad we also relate on that because I mean,
Yeah.
especially the golf course, dude. I mean, you're with the boys, you get a birdie. I mean, if it's right there,
Oh yeah.
you got to celebrate. You got to celebrate accordingly. So that's just how that goes. But
Yeah, but I feel you.
Steve, I do got another question for you, just to like change, I guess, subjects a little bit. Ask something that's a little bit more funny, maybe that's not as serious. What's the weirdest DM that you can recall that you've gotten before? And hopefully it's not me because I did hit Steve's DM to get him on here today. So hopefully
Yeah, this dude Max is like harassing me, and
dude, come on, Hawk Talk. Come on, Hawk Talk. I was at UFC Nashville. Come on, Hawk Talk.
nah, dude, weird ones. I haven't had too many weird ones. I've had like some gay shit. That was weird. Like yeah, that stuff's kind of weird. The ones that I don't, oh well, this is what I'm gonna tell you. The ones that I don't like are the ones that tell me that, hey, I'm betting my whole rent's money on you. I'm like, why would you tell me that? Like, I'm not gonna like. I'm like, okay, just because you did that, I'm gonna go do what I was gonna do anyways. Like, or like they'll come and like tell me that I'm trash, or that like they can't wait to see me get knocked out because I lost some money on their parlay or whatever case. I'm like, bro, like you don't like need to tell me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I want to win as much as you want me to win. Trust me. If you're betting on me, like I want to make you money because truly that's how I make my money, right? But yeah, I've had some crazy ones like that. Like I said, the gay stuff has kind of been weird for me, especially because my wife's like on my social media stuff, but people just don't care about that either. Hey, dude, like do you, but like you look at my stuff, like you see what I got. Um, what else have I got? I've had a few weird ones. I've had a few weird ones, but nothing really comes to my mind at the moment. I love the coaching. Everybody's like coaching me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what I'm doing. Those are funny. Those are funny. Yeah, they're like, hey man, like I know you don't keep your right hand up. You need to keep your right hand up against Cater because he'll knock you out if you don't. I'm like, okay, well, I should. You know what? Maybe you're right. You know what? Maybe I should. So, thanks, coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, those are some of the other ones. I mean, yeah, I've had a few. I can't think of the top of my head.
So just to touch on the three main ones you said, obviously with the coaching thing, like that's what makes me so mad about the UFC and I guess MMA. I feel like because I watch every sport. I mean, you could look behind me. We've got golf hats, we've got baseball hats, we've got Kentucky basketball national championship hat. Like so much sports behind me. So I obviously watch a lot of sports. Um, I don't think that there is a worse fan base across the sport as a whole than when it comes to people just being a casual and thinking they know everything than the UFC. It
For
is
sure.
so bad. It is so bad. I mean, I would sit on here and tell you guys I'm a UFC fan. I will never ever get on here and tell somebody like Steve or somebody like Terrence. You guys know I'm good friends with Terrence. I will never ever tell these guys what the hell they need to do. And there's people out there, like Steve just said, in DMs, actually trying to coach these guys. Like it is their
Yeah.
job. They've been doing this shit since they were little, man. You can't tell somebody when you're fucking sitting on the couch eating a bag of popcorn, fucking drinking a Pepsi, and telling these guys what to do. That's what makes me. That is like my only knock on the sport itself. Is I do not like the fans across the UFC as a whole. There are some very knowledgeable people out there, but don't get in these guys' DMs and act like you're their damn coach. Like, dude, they know
Yeah.
what they need to do. Like, so I
Yeah.
have to get that off my chest and say that. Number two, on the um on the gay thing, are they like texting you stuff? Or are they like sending like explicit photos on that? Or is it
So like I've had a long time ago, like I had someone try to send me like explicit photos, but like luckily, like on Instagram, like you have the ability where it says like the message is hidden,
yes.
but like they always write something, perverse, beforehand. So I know exactly what it is. So I'm like, oh no. So I totally just delete those and stuff. I've had people that were like, just, I knew that they were gay and I'm like, cool, like whatever. But like, and they would just like message me. And like, I try not to have conversation with them, but I like their stuff, they're fans. So like, I'm grateful. But then like all of a sudden they're just like, I just can't believe you. I've been giving all my effort to try to like communicate with you and like you can't even give me the time of day. I've had weirdos like that, bro.
Oh
I'm
my
serious and I'm just like
oh
I
my god,
was
man.
like, look, man, like I was happy you're a fan. Like I'm not trying to like talk to you or anything. I'm just
No.
liking it. Like yeah, I'm just liking like they'll repost like something on your comments where it just like has a little fist bump or something like that, and I'll just like heart it. Just I like it. Thank you you know but no, some people, they're just in their head sometimes, man, and social media can be so toxic, bro. It's almost like this like great terrible thing, social media, right? It's like cool to have, but it's also like the most annoying thing to have. It's
Yeah.
almost like like I said, like with the coaching situation. It's like, bro, like you don't see me, like I don't go to like a plumber, and I'm just like, hey bro, like you have the wrong tool. Like
Yeah.
you need to use the other tool. Make sure to tighten those bolts a little bit tighter because that's like I'm like, bro, like let you do your job. I'm gonna let you do your job. Let me do my job, right? You know what I mean? But they don't see it like that. I just understand I'm in the spotlight where people feel like they can coach, harass. They're protected by the keyboard and yada yada yada. I've had death threats. Like I had someone tell me to go hang myself.
Oh my
Um,
oh my
yeah,
god. That makes me so mad, dude. That makes
Yeah.
me so fucking mad. And
Yeah, I
just
had a
the
loss in my wife.
the betting thing too. Like, obviously, I already mentioned it a minute ago. Terrence came on here. We've had him on Hawk Talk twice. We hung out with him the whole time at UFC Nashville. You guys know what I did, being Terrence's friend. I didn't tell him I bet on him until after the fight was over because I'm respectful. That is what you're
Hell
supposed to
yeah.
do. You can take, your knowledge of the UFC, even if you don't know these guys, you don't have a personal relationship with them though. Steve's next fight, I'm probably going to bet on Steve to win because I like him and I'm a fan of him, and we probably just became friends. But I'm not going to tell him this before the fight because number one, that's disrespectful. Number two, it's your money. And number three, that puts more pressure on him. They don't need that extra pressure, bro. So
It's,
that's how
and
I feel about the betting thing.
Yeah, it's not even so much like extra pressure. Like it just kind of one, it's kind of like more annoying if you're like trying to like convince me that like if I wasn't already trying to win, that I should try even harder to win to help you. You know what I mean? That's like number one. And number two, like I'm already if I lose, right? Like I'm already feeling like shit. You know what I mean? I feel terrible. And then now, I have all these other people like harping on me that I lost them their money. So then like it kind of just makes it even like more of a shitty situation. You know what I mean? So like I remember I had a loss a few years back, and my wife just like because she has access to all my stuff, and she just muted and like shut off all my comments because that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And I was just so grateful for that because like when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, I was like, bro, people don't like have any sort of like understanding of like the situation that's going on, and two, like I already feel like shit. And three, like again, like I just don't know. I can't explain to them like what happened in that training camp and the reason why I had to still go out there and fight. Like they don't understand like everything behind it. And it's fine. It's not my job to let everybody know what I'm doing. That particular fight I'm kind of talking about. I went into that fight with a fracture in my collarbone and I couldn't even throw a right hook. But it was COVID. My wife had lost her job because she didn't get the vaccine in time and all this other stuff. So like, yeah, I had to pull through. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And shit
absolutely.
happens sometimes, bro. Um, that's life. Life is very very difficult at times, and it is what it is. But yeah, bro, like sometimes people just don't make it easy for you.
Yeah, no, and that's like I said too, man. I mean, even people are gonna see what happens. Like your occupation, you're at bare minimum fighting on ESPN, right? Like you got to ESPN Plus sometimes to watch pay-per-views and stuff like that. But at bare minimum, you're going to be fighting on ESPN. Now, your training camps and all that isn't on ESPN, but your job that everybody sees is on ESPN. These other people, if they go to work, they have a bad day, they fuck something up, that's not for the whole world to see, you know?
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
can get away with that type of stuff. And that's what makes me feel bad for athletes where, their occupation is out here in front of everybody. There's no hiding anything or anything like that. That's way different than Gary going to work, has a shit day, he fucks up five things, but nobody knows about it because it wasn't on ESPN. So why
Well,
should
on top of that, like in sports, you strike out, you probably have like another couple goes. You lose a game, you have tomorrow, or you have a series of games. Or like in football, you just have next Sunday. Like for us, like we have a few opportunities, and most of the time it's probably 2 to 3 times a year, and at least for the typical fighter. And if you don't win uh like really well, or let's say you lose, there's just always that option for the UC just gonna cut you. You know what I mean? You can lose your job just like that. You know what I mean? And um most people don't understand that. You know what I mean? So that's also like I don't know why people feel like they need to add that on top of um everything else going on with the fighter. But bro, I know what I signed up for. I know everybody's protected by these keyboards, and that's all right. You know what I mean? It takes a while to kind of grow up and just kind of just like not worry about it. Joe Rogan says it the best, like don't look at the comment section. And so I just don't look at the comment section. But what sucks is that like people that love me look at the comment section and then they get mad
yeah,
and they come and talk to me. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I was like, you're good. I was like, trust me. I was like, because I've had some people, just hate on me even before fights and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, like, Win or lose, it doesn't matter. But for me, I know who I am. I'm confident in who I am, and at the end of the day, I know that like my family loves me. I have my faith, and I'll always be good, bro. So like, everybody's hate, it's all noise. It's all noise. That's all it is.
Good. I'm glad you said right there that you've been able to put that out a little bit. Hopefully people like that doesn't ruin it for people like me who've hit the DM, and obviously I got lucky to get you on here tonight. But that is a very valid point too, with me saying that, I do watch all these different sports. Like, MLB guy, he strikes out 4 times in one game. He's playing the next day. They play 182
Yeah.
games a year. It's completely different. The fans' minds are completely erased. It's a 24-hour process, brand new game the next day. But for you guys, I mean, it could be 4 to 6 months again before you fight. So you do have to deal with that ongoing uh, loss, or if you get a win and people think that you robbed whoever that you beat, that type of shit. So that is also a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm kind of mad at myself for not bringing that up because that's always one of my biggest points too. So I'm glad you did bring that up because that is also huge. But Steve, I have gotten to my final question. I ask every single fighter this before they
Yeah.
come off here. What is the last message that you have to the fans watching this video to tune in to watch your next fight? Hopefully, it's an MSG against somebody like Pitbull or Josh Emmett, and to continue to watch your journey towards the top.
Yeah, man. You just gotta tune in, man. I'm the guy that I've always told. I've said this I don't know how many times, but humbleness doesn't sell, but knockouts do.
Yep.
And if you want to see knockouts, I've got plenty of them on my resume. I know how to do them pretty well. And if you are bored or you just need some excitement in your life, and you know that Steve Garcia is fighting, just tune in. That's the truth. Get your popcorn ready. Don't go, to the bathroom unless it's like the in between rounds, because anything can happen at any given time. And that's typically how my fights go, man. I'm bringing the fight. I'm bringing the heat. I'm willing to even put myself into um, some positions that I probably don't even need to, because I'm always willing to just like stick my neck out, trying to get a finish, trying to get a fight, trying to make it an exciting fight for everybody, because truly the fans matter so much. And um, yeah, man, this is how I get, more fans, more followers. And I'm not necessarily here for the likes. I'm here for the KOs, guys. And that's the truth. That's the truth, man. I'm really going out there. I'm trying to make my money, trying to provide for my family, but put in a smile and get you off out of your seats, man, and just like walking around with like your eyes so big, you just like don't know what the hell just happened. But you know what? That was crazy. Those are the moments that I live for. I hope that, that people can appreciate that, because man, I really do put my health online. I put my heart and soul, out there, my reputation. My family get to watch me go out there and beat up people, and they beat me up, and just lay it all out there just so that I can go and put an entertaining show for you guys. And yeah, man, I'd say that'd probably be my message to everybody that's tuning in on the channel, or that just scrolls across this conversation we're having, man. That's all I got to say, man. That would be my message.
Well, Steve, I just want to say thank you for being so open tonight. That was definitely one of my favorite Hawk Talks I've had, if not my favorite. Thank you for being such an open book and elaborating on every single thing we asked you about tonight. I hope anybody watching this, if you didn't know Steve that well before, or if you do follow Steve, you got to know him a little bit more tonight. Really, really powerful messages. I loved everything you said, man. Hopefully, this is something where we can get you back on Hawk Talk eventually later this fall. If you got a fight coming up, because I really enjoyed having you on there tonight, man. I can't thank you enough for your time, for coming on here and sharing everything with us tonight. Hopefully, we see you again this fall. Hopefully, it's at MSG, like I said, against one of the two guys you mentioned already. And I can't wait to see you go to the top, man. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, man, let me know anytime. If I mean, Kentucky's not usually a place I'd probably want to go visit. You kind of like, got my mind, going a little bit. And it might be one of those places, but maybe we'll go play 18 and check out some stuff like a derby or something like that. That'd be cool. But at the end of the day, brother, just hit me up. We can figure something out.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Steve. I'm definitely going to take you up on that. So I'm going to be hitting you up for sure on that. But everybody, the Mean Machine himself, Steve Garcia, tune in to watch him fight later this year. The dude's on a 6-fight win streak. I know he's going to continue to go to the top. We'll see you guys next time on Hawk Talk. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight.